fun, no stains on my kicks, and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power never divides. Spitting for the block, lead buses make 'em wanna fight. 1600 dude day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk. Time to clap for the keys. That's a fact. It's a rap. I'ma bring it back. In the people's
All right, let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Happy Monday. Here it goes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday.
It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta
Let's go.
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen
when you're rich and famous. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
I guess we going viral cause my Zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. And if they use my ex, that mean they like me.
Really?
They don't get replies if they text me.
Let's go.
With my chest cause I made it. Got a lot of confidence.
Here's a Zeus hater right here. This is typical Zeus hater right here.
I'ma take off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
You haven't?
Shit was radical.
Oh, very radical.
It was horrible.
Victims.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the
It's like deja vu.
I've gone way off the rails. Did you see what happened this weekend?
It's like deja vu.
You didn't see what happened this weekend? All right, don't worry.
It's like deja vu.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host, I'm your pilot, and once again, you know exactly why we are gathered. We have to save this great country of ours from guess who? You know what? Donald J. Trump and his legion of evil and corrupt, deranged, and you know what they like to be, professional victims, right? These are nothing more than MAGA demons, all right? So we'll get started with that in just a little bit. But before I do, let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. Oh my gosh. Thank you. W's in the chat, Little Hawk, my brother. They call me Triple H because I'm the first H stands for honest. I am the most honest person on social media, hands down. The second H is, well, I'm humble. You know what I mean? If I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. But here's the thing. If I hurt your feelings, that's not necessarily me being wrong. It's most likely a sign that you need to sit your special behinds down. Yeah. And continue to listen to this special broadcast. Seriously. All right. And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, you've guessed it. It's because I am and will always remain the most handsome. Check out my features. Look at that. My God, I woke up like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like I was saying, you know, what we do over here on this side of TikTok is very, very special. We hold these people who voted for Donald Trump willfully, you know, especially you, but even those of you who, you know, voted for him without knowing what you did when you did, but we're going to hold you accountable. And I'll do this until the good Lord calls me home. I have no problem holding you Trump supporters accountable for what you have done to this great country of ours. Every time you Trump supporters think about what I see, when I see what you did, I want you to imagine the Statue of Liberty. I want you to imagine she's crying because of the treason that is in the midst. All right. We have a lot of treason out here. And we'll get into some of that. All right. And it's coming right out of the White House. All right. And so I'll say this. Are there any Trump supporters out there this morning? Anybody still supporting Donald Trump despite the fact that impeachment is on the horizon? Anyone still supporting Donald J. Trump? I just want to make sure I, check the temperature before I move a little forward. All right. Anyone still supporting? Terrorists. Oh, yeah. Domestic one. He's a homegrown one. Miss Pack Your Bags. He's a homegrown one. All right. So I'll say this to all the people in here who are supporting Donald Trump. You're never going to admit it in my chat section, but I know you're here because I went into one of your friends' lives over this weekend, and this is when the truth about what's really going on comes out. It doesn't come out in my show. Everything you all feel about Big Zeus comes out not on my platform, but when I venture off into these red spaces and then you start telling me lies. All right. And so what I'll say is this. If you do not want me, and I'm going to give you this warning once again, because if I tell you this, if I say this,
if you're not happy here,
right,
then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy
right
in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
So let me break that down for the poorly educated. You know what I'm talking about, you Trump supporters. Stay the heck out of my comment section. Stay the heck out of my live. Don't even mention my name, all right? Because obviously you don't like me because of what I am saying. 90% of what I say is me repeating what your dear leader says, okay? And then I give you a whole hour and a half, 2 hours. Now I'm cutting the show down because I've defeated MAGA. There's no need for me to spend 2-3 hours in the morning, every morning talking to you knuckleheads, all right? Because I've already explained it over and over. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll move on and I'll do something else. They won't come up here and talk to me on my show. They'll sit in the comment section, act like they're not here, and then I'll go over there. Hey guys, I want to talk about the way things are going, right? The stock market right now is in the toilet. I mean, the stock market, in case you haven't been looking at it, ladies and gentlemen, just take a look at what's going on TV. You'll hear it, all right? What are we doing with the stock market, all right? Let me get my signs ready. All right, hold on. That's the stock market right there. All right. So I'll go over there and, some of you went there and you saw me talk to this knucklehead. This is a MAGA demon and his child. I won't even mention their names. You have to go look into it. And I just got to say this. I was so professional. I went over there, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm Triple H. I don't need to explain anything. I wanted to lead by example. And instead of just listening to what I wanted to say was, listen, you see this right here? This is the hammer of truth. All right. And what I do, no one can do it like me. But you were being a naughty parent, a bad parent, and you were. And that's what I came over there to talk to you. I don't want to talk politics. I want to talk about bad parenting. All right. You got your son out here. God bless him, because I really do have a soft spot in my heart, sort of like the soft spot Donald Trump has for TikTok in his heart. Got a soft spot for people when I know they really need this good word, this good truth. But you, the daddy, I want you to know one thing. You will be judged. All right? You will be judged by Zeus. In short order. I was very nice in there, wasn't I, ladies and gentlemen? W Zeus in the chat. I was so nice. Even Ange came there. She was busy, but she saw the need. We were genuinely concerned because this world of politics that we're in, it's not for the weak. You got to be strong, all right? And you decided you wanted to get in the ring with Big Zeus and be judged, all right? And so I listened to you. You didn't listen to me. You had all these liars, and I know they're liars, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm going a little off topic, but I needed to address this real quickly. You had all these liars. For instance, I'll show you what I mean. Do we have any Trump supporters in the chat this morning? Any Trump supporters out there? Please identify yourselves in the chat. Watch this. Not one person will say, yes, I support Donald Trump, because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to be judged, but they will be judged. You see no one's going to say, yes, Zeus, I support Donald Trump. But then I leave this live and I go in there and I hang out, and you know what they say? Oh, I was listening to your show. Well, okay. Or I wasn't listening to it. They got this new excuse. Somebody sent me a snapshot or a video clip of your show, because I don't even hate. As a matter of fact, Zeus, I blocked you. You're not blocking me. You're hiding in the chat. You're hiding in the comment section. because you know I am right. You know the Democrats are right, and we're kicking your butts. You might look at these poll numbers and think that somehow that's a reflection of the fact that your dear leader is somehow running the government correctly. He's not running the government correctly. I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene put out a video. She's disappointed because Joe Biden, as sleepy as he was, right, had more legislation getting passed in his first 100 days than you. And this is what I mean. Wild man, you will be judged. You will be judged. And the Russian bear that came in there. I saw you were in my good friend's live yesterday, and you were being so nasty. And you know what you did? I'll call it like I see it. You thought you could go into Democrat space the way I could go into red spaces and contain yourself. But here's the thing, you Russian bear. I gotta say it. The difference between folks like me and you is this. You have the MAGA demon. Yes. And when you have the MAGA demon inside of you, you can't control yourself. And I actually wanted to go in there, but I was so busy because I'm out here saving the real world. But I listened to this and I said, some of you folks, you really need to be saved from yourselves. Just get off TikTok, go ride a bike, and go fly a kite. Because when it comes to these conversations, you're just not built for them. All right. You might be a very good person off the app, but we don't see that on the app. All right. What we see on the app is downright dangerous. It's downright disgusting. And guess what, you Russian bears? You will be judged. W Zeus. Marine. I did not ask you to say anything about me. My question earlier was, do we have any Trump supporters in this live? And it just blows my mind that y'all won't get up here like real adults and identify yourselves as MAGA anymore. So what? I got the lake of fire. He made himself look like the Pope. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage about that? I just do the lake of fire because that's as far as I need to go with MAGA and help y'all understand y'all on the wrong side of this situation and you're on your way to hell. This man puts out a photo of himself as the Pope. And guess what y'all did? And you know what? You can go read their comments. Thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump. And you know what they do? Smelling that dirty diaper. It's a crying shame that we got grown folks out here acting like this. And guess what? I can do and say whatever I want. It's my platform. I will listen. The reason you Trump supporters, and this is why this is when they started cutting me off on that platform that I was on. And you know I won. And I'll tell you how you know I won. And not just me, but Ange. There were so many W's in the chat. W Zeus, W Ange. I literally saw their minds, their MAGA brains, they exploded. Boom! And then when they came back to, when they woke back up, they somehow thought the W's that were for me and Ange were W's for them. This is how delusional they got. So after I leave, then they turn around and say, I need you to stay up here, Russian bears. I need all of y'all. Snuggies. I need y'all to stay up here. We won. This is what they told themselves. We won. I said, wow, that's amazing. It was so many W Zeuses and W Anges in the chat that they actually thought they won. But guess what? I got some bad news for you, Wild Man and Snuggie and Huggy and Buggy and you Russian bears. Those W's were for Zeus and Ange, not you, W Zeus. Those weren't your W's. Warren, I'm not asking you anything other than, are you a Trump supporter? Let's keep it simple, Warren. Are you a Trump supporter or not? All right. Because if you are a Trump supporter, I will give you an opportunity this morning to climb Mount Olympus and be judged. It's simple, Warren. You don't got to worry about anything else. But guess what? This is the most difficult exercise you've ever experienced in your life. I get it. You've never exercised this much, especially when it comes to being intellectually capable and showing you're able to be mature, actually. All right. So, Warren, since you failed the test again, you know what? That's a thunder strike. You get another thunder strike, Warren. You failed. Yeah. Thank you, WZ. I don't understand, MAGA, why it is so difficult for y'all to simply say, yes, I support Donald Trump. I don't want to hear about what you think about Joe Biden. I honestly could care less. I don't want to hear about what you think about me. I honestly can care less, right? Because I get on the show every morning and I cook and book. All right. And I want to know why you still are supporting things that you know you have a problem with. Case in point. Y'all want to continue to demonize these immigrants. All right. And you tell me, oh, well, he's a criminal, but then you want to turn around and vote for a criminal. And this is what I was trying to say to the host and his son and Snuggie and Buggy and Rushy and the Russian Bears. There's a great judgment on this nation right now because of your hypocrisy, MAGA. There's a great judgment on this nation right now, and it's wickedness. And it's because you can't come out here and say you support one thing, but then live a completely contrary lifestyle. And this is what we're seeing in the United States right now. That's why I say it's a situation where, unfortunately, all of us are going to have to get a whooping together so that these folks can wake up and come out of this cult that they are in. You cannot support a man who has been tried in the courtrooms, all right, and has been found liable and to be a criminal. You can't support this kind of conduct on one end and then go out here in the real world and try to have some sort of holier than thou standard when it comes to your fellow man out here. It doesn't work. I don't care what religion you practice. There are universal laws at place, and the Creator made them. And unfortunately, MAGA, you will end up finding out the hard way that a hard head makes for a soft, you know what, W Zeus in the chat. And that's why I do this. I want all you Trump supporters to, if you don't learn anything today, understand what I mean when I say this. You will be judged by me or the Creator or anyone in between, but you will be judged. All these people that you see in the comment section, right? They see me and they see you, and they form their own opinions about you. As much as they want to say, as much as you all want to say, Zeus is running a cult, as much as y'all want to say that, y'all are a bunch of liars, because I can promise you, if these people really were in a cult and they did exactly what I told them to do, guess what? I'd be a millionaire. Right? If these people, if I were running a cult, because, you know, I was in the live, I know I'm talking a lot, but I had to say it because, you know, when I go into these other lives and they just start doing the muting and dropping and stuff and over yelling, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put it in. I'll tell them on my show how it works. If you cannot come onto my show and act all bold and bad, but your hands is behind your back, if you can't do it on my show, don't try it over there on your show, okay? Because it's not going to work. But I'll say this. The Russian Bear, she told me, she's making, I mean, this is some sick stuff she's gotten herself into. She actually has created a world where she thinks I'm living with her. It's the weirdest thing. She thinks, not just her, but her other friend, you know, I call it her mascot, and she knows who she is, who I had to block, because I don't owe anybody a response back. If I follow you, and I got over 10,000 followers, some of you I had to unfollow because guess what? I can't keep up with every, but I have no obligation to respond to things that I just don't feel are in my best interest. All right. And if that's my right, your right too. She took this, they both have taken it to the next level where they think Big Zeus is going, I don't know, they think I'm dating them or something. I don't know you folks. All right. So she tells me, because I guess her heart got broke because I blocked them. I'll block anybody if I need to. She says, Zeus, I'm going to report you to the FBI. This is what she said. I'm going to report you to the FBI. Cooper Flag, did I ask you to ask me anything other than identify yourselves as MAGA? That's all I want you Trump supporters to do. Wear your badge with honor. If Big Zeus is making any kind of money on TikTok, that's my business. And the people who want to send the money, that's our business. You need to stay out of grown folks' business. How about that, MAGA? And go over to your side and maybe try to get those people to support what you're doing. You know, I get the fundraising emails this week, and, you know, JD Vance, Donald Trump, every day they send y'all requests to send, you know, support them and send money. So I don't want to hear anything about this. You're making money. If you have a problem with me making money, again, I'm going to ask you to go take that up with your dear leader. All right, W. Kabira, who continues to grift and rob the American people blind through his little cryptocurrency scheme. Once again, you do not have a problem with me making money. I know what it is. You have a problem because I'm a black man doing it, all right? And I look good. You have a problem with a black man like myself sitting up here holding court and judging you, MAGA demon, on the daily, and the fact that other people like what I do. But you didn't see me when I only had one person on my live when I was, doing this years ago. You didn't see that. So you get triggered, and that's where I want you to be. And like I said at the top of the show,
if you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Thank you.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too.
Yeah.
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
I do it every morning. I say, look at that. No strings attached. I am not a hand puppet. Yeah. Tiny Tank Top 10. I could get on you. And I'm not going to say it much, but Tiny Tank Top 10. All I'll say is this. Knock it off. You're only allowed on this platform because I allow you, and not just you, any of you. And that's by the grace. That's by the God's grace that I'm allowing it, because I see that there's something you need and you're not tricking any of us. All right. You are in need of help. All right. You need to come on a platform like this and act accordingly. You can't get out here and act like you're these big dog. You're not a big dog out here. You're not. All right. And I'm saying that because I'm genuinely concerned, too. I get it. You don't know why you support Donald Trump. I get it. You say, oh, because he's not a Democrat, or all of y'all come up with all these other reasons. The truth is, you don't know why you support Donald Trump. Y'all just went along and did it because you thought it was a cool thing to do. But now looking back, you have so much pride in your hearts that you can't admit it was a bad decision. You're like the people. Honestly, I'd hate to be on a road trip with people like you. Are we going the wrong direction? The map says yes, but you know what your pride says? Just keep driving. That's how y'all get. Just keep on driving. Eventually, there's going to be a little fork in the road where we can, cut through some farmland, and then we'll be right back on track. Your pride has gotten y'all into this situation. And I'll wrap it up by saying this, because I was talking about the Russian bears. I have nothing to do with who you are. I don't know you. I honestly don't want to know you. Never have. I mean, I thought maybe at a certain point when I first got on the app, you could have been a normal individual. But the more I hear you talk and just some of the interactions that I have, I've really tried to make it a point to draw very, very distinct but healthy boundaries. I don't ask people to do anything. I don't ask people. No, I actually say, people, I can fight my own battles. But when I heard the comment that you said you wanted to report me to the FBI, I genuinely was concerned. I was like, okay, what crime did I commit? And your response was that Zeus is a cult leader. To the Russian bears. Again, that's what you call an allegation, and that's also false, along with all the other things you've suggested about me, in the name of yourself supposedly being a Christ-like individual. Knock it off. And honestly, if you do not like what I am doing on TikTok, and you don't like the fact that people support what I am doing on TikTok, you could literally swipe on out of this live and go hang out with all of your friends. You are not that important. All right. What you really should be focusing on is your souls. All right. Because quiet as it is kept, a lot of you are on your way to hell. And speaking of hell, we'll get straight to judgment. Wild man, you will be judged. Your Russian bears, you will be judged. Snuggles, you will be judged. And all of you MAGA demons will be judged. And as a matter of fact, it starts right now. DJ, you will be judged. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake of Fire has officially warmed up. It's almost about to get hot. And we will cast all of you mega demons where you belong, into the Lake of Fire.
Silence, you mega demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's what you call a rap, all right? W Zeus in the chat. I had some content. I honestly, honestly had some content. But you know what? I said, you know what? I said, I actually had some content, but I said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and just shoot from the hip this morning and let these people know where they stand. I'm going to make a new rule. If you come up here, all right, and I asked you, I say, are there any Trump supporters up here? And you don't say anything, and I go into your platform and you want to talk to me about something from my show, I'm just going to immediately drop. I'm just going to have to drop because this is getting downright disrespectful. It's getting silly. All right. If you want to talk to me, I show up to work every day on time. OK, maybe I'm 5 or 10 minutes late, but I do this 6:30 a.m. Pacific time every single day. All right. So if I go onto your platform, don't talk to me about, oh, I've been waiting to get to you. No, you haven't been waiting to get to me. You haven't been waiting to get to Q Dog. You haven't been waiting to get to Nutty. You haven't been waiting to get to Shay. You haven't been waiting to get to Ange, because we all are here every morning asking you, come up here and tell us what it is you're thinking, what you're believing, and you refuse to do it. So no. And so that, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go straight into the chat. All right. Who do we got this morning? Oh, okay. Who do we got this morning? Oh, yeah, I know. I'm going to get to policy in just a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get to policy. This is just a decompress or a debrief of what happened over this weekend. Good morning, Q Dog. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, good morning, Zeus.
Good morning.
I heard y'all been asking about me.
Who, me?
No,
oh, you're
no.
talking. Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Gator Boy, the Water Boy, Duck Dynasty, and Curly from the Three Stooges. First,
That's what you call them. That's what you call them.
That's their new TikTok names. First and foremost, I'm in AAU basketball all day Saturday. I really thought the little live thing was gonna go on today at 8 p.m. until I talked to you yesterday. And you saw my text. I told him, I said, let's go into the live. You was like, that happened yesterday. I said, man, I've been at AAU from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. I ain't get home till 10 o'clock. But I'm here now. You want to talk to me? Come on, bring y'all squirrel bait behinds on up here. You want to talk to me? See, Wild Man, he want to say, oh, I'm not. Every time you ask him about being racist, it's like triggering, like shooting Raid up in the corner with a bunch of roaches, because that's all they are. You want to come up here talking about you not racist, but you got people that you follow with black face on they picture. You seen it? I texted to you. Am I lying, Zeus? So you want to come up here talking all that rhetoric? Come on, I'm here. You want a Q Dog? I'm right here. Tiny Tank Top Tim. Come on, I saw you in the comments. Bring your little self up here.
And I'll say this. My aim is to continue to hold Donald Trump accountable, but today's a little bit of a unique day, ladies and gentlemen, because after this, I really just want to put a pin in this. If you got an issue in terms of things, I don't know how it could be outside of politics, but as long as you're coming up here and you're keeping it clean, all right, I'm willing to hear you out. But
we could definitely keep it clean. But understand, the chain is off the dog right about now. So I'm waiting on you to come up here. Come on, Cletus. It ain't nothing but a short tap. Come on up here. You come up here, you're gonna be limping back. Come on, I'm waiting on you. You wanted
Now,
me
did I ask you to do this, Q Dog, or are you doing this on your
No,
own?
you didn't ask me to do it. I've been waiting since I texted you yesterday. I got that text yesterday. I'm waiting on y'all to come up here. See, it's a lot of stuff that y'all come up on TikTok and say queer dog, this, that, and the other.
They call you. They called you that.
They call me queer dog. One thing that you got to realize. See, I'm 52, but I got some frat brothers that are young and dumb, and they know what you look like. You don't want that smoke if my brothers are in this live or any other day live.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. I said I understand there's just some folks that should not be talking politics because it should never, to me, get to that level. What I want is to have sensible discussions about these things that are obviously impacting the lives of Americans all over the country. And my hope is that it could be a engaging, entertaining, and educational experience. But when you get to where we're at right now, it really just says, okay, why are you on TikTok?
Well, see, the thing is, Zeus, you already know what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with politics. It's got to do with this orange man in office giving them a voice to be racist as they want to be and say whatever they need to say on TikTok because they damn sure ain't going to say it in person because we already know what will happen if they did it in person to the wrong people. You can't say what you wanted to say like 50, 60 years ago. Well, we know the reason why they come up here every day, and that includes Maverick with that double wide chin, and Janae with that that Dollar Tree lace front wig she got on. We know why they come up here every day, but they sit down in the comments and they say what they want to say, like Tiny Tank Top Tim. They want to say what they say in the comments because they're in their safe space, and they want to get on a platform that is completely racist. Oh, wow, man. I went through the people you follow. And every last one of them racist to the core. When I seen that one follower you got with the black face, come on, Cletus.
So, Wild Man, obviously you're listening, and again, I do think you mean to do the right thing, but I don't know if you see what we see, and this is why I was over there trying to honestly express concern. If you're doing as Q Dog suggested, and I saw the photos, I'm sitting there going, now how can you sit here with your behind showing like that and act like we don't see it? This is what this is all about. So, again, you could come up here, Wild Man, and try to explain yourself. You know me, I'm going to run a real tight operation. But if you don't come up here, then you know what? It's over. Zeus Q Dog wins, all right? Because we show up where you at, but you're just going to hide in the comment section. Let's go ahead and let's move on and not make this an issue because I'm not one of these people that like to waste time. We have a great country to save, and this is just a speed bump. You got a warning, Q Dog.
I'm gonna pop back in.
All right, come out. All right, you got a warning. All right, so that's WQ Dog. This is so off brand, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize sincerely for us having to have this little bit of a distractive moment because what I wanted to do was cover Donald Trump's talking about he doesn't know if he should have to obey the Constitution. And he was talking about these dolls that he doesn't care these children aren't going to get because of his tariffs. That's really what I wanted to talk about. But, I had to, obviously nip this in the bud. So please bear with me. All right. And by the way, W to the chat. You're all W to the chat. Thank you. All right. Who do we got next? All righty then. All right. Who do we got? All right, Q Dog. I'll give you another minute, bro, and then we got to move it on because I got to wrap up this show in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure, bro. See, that's what they do. They want to cry victim when they start doing everything that's in their power to spew what they want to spew. But I'm gonna tell you this. I got too many friends that are professional comedians. I've been around them too many years. So if you try to come against me, I'm going to roast you. I'm going to roast you and embarrass you in front of everybody. So If you want to talk, we can have a cordial
Yeah.
talk. That's fine. We can definitely have a cordial talk. But when you get out of pocket, I'm telling you, the comedy is going to come out.
Fair enough. All right. All right. W's in the chat for Q Dog. All right. All righty then. All right. I mean, so ladies and gentlemen, again, just had to address that because I did have a lot of people reaching out to me and they were expressing concern like, Zeus, how did you subject yourself to that and all this other stuff? And the truth of the matter is, honestly, when I get to that level, I just stop engaging, and it really doesn't bother me like it used to because I understand that's nothing but the devil trying to get me to act like a very nasty person, right? It's a trick the devil uses to try to get me to do things that I normally wouldn't do. So I just let them do whatever they do and let them reveal themselves to all of you, all right? You can judge it for yourself, all right? But W Zeus. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got next? Okay. Good morning, Nutty. How are you doing?
First of all, can I say, can we please stop picking on Dollar Tree? Like Dollar Tree, they're victims of the tariffs as well. So let's stop picking on Dollar
Fair
Tree.
enough. Fair enough, Nutty.
Well, we know they're not the Dollar Tree, but they're the $1.25 tree.
Got it.
So, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? Did you have a good weekend?
Man, listen, I disengaged from all of the TikTok mess.
Smart move. Yeah.
You know my Floridian slip on Friday about dropping my hoe, So I still continue right. So I continue my yard work throughout the weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Since I've been home and haven't been deployed, I've been catching up on a lot of work.
Fair enough.
Got negated. So
your mental health, you're taking care of your mental health is what I'm hearing, which is a good thing. And again, that's what we recommend.
Yeah.
Get off of the app.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have to just break
Get
away
off of the
for a
app
couple days.
Fair enough. But what do you got for us this morning? I mean, you got policy. What are we talking this morning, brother?
I'm gonna ask a basic question to the Trump supporters, and I think we've asked this, Zeus, for the last going on 5-6 years now. What is it gonna take for you to stop supporting this one man in particular? Like it's beyond policy. It's beyond being a Republican because we know there's no such thing as a Republican anymore.
Right.
And, we hear people like 4X consistently tell us that he voted for Donald Trump because he doesn't like Donald Trump. This is his claim.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Donald Trump, but he voted for him because he wasn't a Democrat.
Oh, yeah. But see, that means to me he doesn't know why he voted for Donald Trump when you think about it.
That's exactly it. So what you're telling me without saying it all is that you voted for him because he wasn't a Democrat, but you like the fact that he's racist. You like the fact that he is a super predator. You like the fact that he is a misogynist. But most of all, and I know this is going to trigger him really bad because we know they're creeping in this room somewhere. You like the fact that he hates this country.
Yep. You're saying Donald Trump hates America.
1,000%.
I second that. Do we all agree Donald Trump hates America? Please put a yes in the chat because those I want people to understand how we feel.
So we keep hearing stories.
Thank you, everyone.
About the deportations, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
About the children that are United States citizens that has been, not that he is going to, that has been deported.
Wow. Over 100 yeses.
You can't keep claiming that you're protecting the children when everything that you do is antithetical to protecting children.
Correct.
I remember hearing during the campaign, Zeus,
Mm-hmm.
he said how he was going to protect women whether they like it or not.
You want me to play that? I can play that.
Please, if you have that queued up.
Yeah, I can play that.
Because of course we get accused of lying when we
Hold on,
mention
hold on.
things.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
Remember that? Sounds
So-
disgusting, huh?
So you know what that, and they celebrated that. They celebrated it, but they're celebrating predator behavior. When you say I'm going to do it whether they like it or not, knowing his background as a predator, as an adjudicated predator, why would you make such a statement?
That's you hear this,
and,
MAGA?
and people keep supporting this. People keep saying, "Oh, he cares. He cares about me." No, he doesn't. He doesn't. We keep bringing these names up on these TikTok lives. You know, like the Four Bears. I'm just gonna keep it at the Four Bears.
Thank you.
But they're the very ones that say he cares. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know you from Adam. The only time he's gonna care about you, and I'm specifically speaking to those Four Bears. The only time he cares about you is if you're going to lay on your back and open your legs for him. That's the only time he's going to care about you. And as quiet as it's kept, I don't even know if he cares about you then because I seen the way you look. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
You woke up very angry.
No,
today.
I woke up with truth. I woke up with truth in my heart and truth on my tongue. And I'm going to tell the truth if it hurts your feelings or if it doesn't. How about that? I can use that same play as well.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, I'm going
Bingo.
to speak the truth. He
Yeah.
does not care about you. The fact that you cannot sit there and criticize this man for the evil that he is doing to this nation, it is sick. It is disgusting. It is rabid behavior.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, and that's spot
I
on.
swear, MAGA has rabies. They have rabies. They don't know how to act. They salivate at the mouth when they hear you talking about their dear leader. Like, stop. We are the United States of America. I want to revert back to Barack Obama for a second.
Hit him with it.
During his acceptance speech in 2009, he stated, but you all don't care. He stated, we're not red states. We're not blue states. We're the United States of America.
Amen. W's in the chat for Obama.
But yet you claim that he has weakened the race relations in this country. But yet this man was a person who kept trying to bring people together. Just as former President Biden.
Yeah.
We see that in the way they speak to people. We see that into the people that they're not making fun of.
Thank you.
We see that with
Thank you,
policy.
Obama. Thank you,
We see that
Obama.
with policy.
Yeah.
So Zeus, I believe, and please fact check me here. I believe during this point in President Biden's presidency, how many pieces of legislation? I think
11.
11 pieces of legislation.
Yeah.
By the end
Serious
of it-
pieces too. Trump done maybe
And-
5, but these are just real slap job pieces that he's pushing through. It doesn't count in my opinion.
Absolutely. Now, at the end of his administration, was it up to like 400 pieces of legislation?
Way up there. We're talking hundreds and hundreds amounts of legislation. You know, Sleepy Joe did that.
So Zeus, here's my question to you, sir. If you love this nation, and I'm talking at you specifically, as if you're sitting in the Oval Office.
All right, great, because that's what I'll be doing in short order. You know, I'm releasing an album.
If you love this nation, how could you not push legislation that's going to better this nation? How could you not be on the forefront of every single media platform talking about we need to come together? See, this is why people, especially here on TikTok, this is why we say we're not going to kumbaya with you, because you don't believe in coming together, but yet you want to preach it, but you don't want to live it.
Amen, amen. Tell him, Nutty, the only reason you wouldn't pass it is because you hate the country. Duh. Which goes back to your earlier point.
Yeah, you can't preach to me. You can't preach a life of holiness when you're out living in sin.
Amen, amen. There you go.
So,
Listen, Nutty, we got to
with
move
that
it on.
being said, do better. And for all of these, third grade antics, and I'm sorry to all the third graders in the world for disgracing you that way.
Yeah.
But the behaviors that we've seen on TikTok the last week, it's childish. Because guess what happens when I turn my app off, Zeus?
What do you cry in a corner with your pillow?
I disengage and I don't think about these fools.
So do I. So do I.
And I don't think about these fools, and I move on with my everyday life.
So do I.
I get work done, and I live life. You know what? You heard the saying, "Go out and touch some grass."
Yes.
I'm gonna need them to go out and roll and frolic in the grass because
Do something.
they need to do something.
All
Thank you
right.
for the space.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's Nutty in the chat. Nutty. All right. So what we'll do is we'll sprinkle in some content, all right? Because, we kind of started in a weird space, but we'll get there. What I wanted to get on the record was what Donald Trump said, and then I'll go to the audience and bring up someone else next. But what I wanted to get on the record is Donald Trump admitting yesterday that all of his success that he's currently has, it belongs to guess who? President Biden.
At the same time, the economy shrank in the first quarter. You've been arguing all week that this is President Biden's economy. Is this now your economy, sir?
Well, I think certain aspects of it are. Costs are. I was able to get down the costs, but even that, it takes a while to get them down, but we got them down good. We lost $5 to $6 billion a day with Biden. 5 to 6 billion.
Here he goes.
And I've got that down to a great number right now in a record time. We're talking about 100 days. But just think of what that is. $5 billion a day we're losing on trade. And we were very tough with China, as you know. We put 145% tariff on. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing. And we've essentially cut off trade relationships by putting that much of a tariff on. And that's okay. We've gone cold turkey. That means that we're not losing. We lost $1 trillion to China. $1 trillion. That means we're not losing $1 trillion when we go cold turkey because we're not doing business with them right now. And they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal very badly. We'll see how that all turns out, but it's got to be a fair deal. But think of it. We're losing $1 trillion. And that was a big part of the $5 million a day.
And I want to talk about China, but just staying on this idea of the economy. On the eve of your inauguration, the stock market spiked. You called it the Trump effect.
Yeah.
Are
It
you?
spiked because I was elected president.
Well,
It spiked because of anybody
I can
else.
tell
It
on
spiked
itself.
because they see what I'm going to do. They know what I'm going to do with the tariffs and everything else. And I think it's actually working out better than we anticipated. Did you see oil prices? Did you see gasoline is now below, in
hear
many
this?
cases, in many states, below $2 a gallon, $1.98, $1.99, $1.97?
Well, my question, sir, is when the stock market spiked, you said this is the Trump effect. When the numbers weren't so good earlier this week, you said it's the Biden effect. Are you only taking ownership of the good numbers and not the bad numbers?
I think he did a lot of very bad things, and despite some of the bad things, we're overcoming them. But he was bad on the border. He was bad on the economy. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country.
Answer the question.
Biden gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. People, it didn't matter what they made because they were losing their shirt because of costs. Now take a look at what happened. Oil is down, gasoline is down, groceries are down, eggs. You were the one that asked me. You asked me about eggs. It was the first week. I didn't even know anything about what were you talking about. Egg prices were so high you couldn't buy eggs. They didn't have any eggs. And they said Easter is going to be a disaster. Well, we had Easter at the White House, and we had thousands of eggs, and they were down 87%.
Yeah, a lot of that, of course, spike was because of bird flu. But when does it become the Trump
Why
economy?
do you say that?
Well, tell me,
we had the same bird flu as he had.
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now, and I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
The good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy. That's all she was asking him from the very beginning, and he went all around the mulberry bush. Biden, Biden, Biden. Okay, yeah, that's me. Biden, Biden, Biden. Okay, that's me. So the way your mind works is if it's good, it's yours. If bad, it's Biden. I got to do judgment. It's time for judgment. Donald Trump, you will be judged too. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire, because anybody that subscribes to that ideology, something is wrong with you, all right? So ladies and gentlemen, you know what this is? Don't work like that.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
That logic failed. If you believe what Donald Trump just said, you failed as well. It doesn't work like that in the real world. And that's why I have to do shows like this. This is why I tell y'all to sit y'all special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast. Because if you come up here and you repeat that kind of logic, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to shut you down, because I've told you already before. I'm the person that went to the store and said, he said the eggs are, 38 cents. The prices have came down 94%. Okay, he changed it to 87%. Give me the eggs that are 38 cents. And they looked at me like I was, crazy. And then I played Donald Trump telling them this, and they said, sir, he's lying. I went and looked for gas for $1.97. And I'm telling the people at the gas station, you're overcharging Big Zeus, because he's telling me it should be $1.97. And you know what they're telling me? They're saying he's lying. So if you can't take what he is saying and go out in the real world and get it actually to happen, then this means he's lying. So I don't want to hear it anymore, MAGA. Stop making yourselves look silly out here and then getting mad at the Democrats. No, if you quit believing this guy when he lies, you actually might start having better and more productive lives, better relationships with people. W Zeus. W Zeus in the chat. And again, MAGA, when you see the W Zeus's in the chat, because what we did this weekend, those are mine, those are not yours, okay? That doesn't mean you won. Somebody said, wait a second, hold on. So, do we have any Trump supporters in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Did I see something in there? I thought, wait a second. Someone said, wait a minute, what did I see? Zeus? When isn't he lying? Okay, I get it. Yeah. Patrick says, it's sad. Yeah, America hate one man. Hey, Patrick. Come on up here, Patrick, real quickly. You can be judged. Patrick, you want to come up here and be judged? I didn't think so. Okay, Patrick. All right, Patrick. Well, do me a huge favor. Mods, you know what you can do it to Patrick. You know what to do to him, all right? Please, straitjacket him, all right? W Zeus. Patrick, I don't really consider it to be hate at this point. I mean, actually, okay, I got to be honest. I am a Trump hater. All right, Patrick, you got me. I'm a Trump hater. But you know what, Patrick? If his behavior was just simply, I didn't like his policies, honestly, I wouldn't even go live on TikTok. It's not that serious, because there's a lot of people I just don't like, and I could be a hater to a certain degree. But the gravity, Patrick, of what's happening, it requires every American to do their patriotic duty, especially, you know what I mean? You got, as a citizen of this country, believe it or not, you still have patriotic duties besides jury duty. When you see that the government that's supposed to be of the people, for the people, you know what I mean? Abraham Lincoln, by the people, when they're not doing their part, then it is up to you to, answer the clarion calls. What I say, it's a clarion call. You got to get out here and help get government back on track so that it continue to actually deliver what it's supposed to deliver for the people. And what we see happening right here, I don't want my government to be running like Elon's Tesla company. If you haven't paid attention, Tesla stock prices in the toilet. No, don't send the government in the toilet. No, make sure our government continues to do what it is supposed to do, what George Washington and all those others around him started, getting it right. Yeah, we're not a perfect union, but we're supposed to strive to be perfect, right? W Zeus again. Oh my God, I got my sis Jess. Good morning, Jess. How are you?
Good morning, Zeus. Oh
Hey.
my gosh, thank you for letting me up.
You're absolutely welcome. You don't always request, so I figured this is serious for you to send me a request. And you're a busy person, by the way.
Yeah,
but,
we all are. We all got pretty busy. Also, in the mornings, it's really hard for me because the kids and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did tell me.
And I'm working a little bit more too lately. So.
Oh, you got it. Okay, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. So I was just reading. Donald Trump is hosting a Bitcoin or meme coin event fundraiser. And y'all want to know how much it is to attend the Trump Gala?
How much? Maybe $100.
1.5 million per plate.
So Trump is allowed to make money while he's the president, is what you're suggesting?
1.5 million per plate. That is crazy to me. And I bet the burgers are going to have the little Trump stamp on top and probably going to taste like burnt ketchup.
But Jess,
goodness.
aren't these the same people that have a problem when Democrats are on TikTok making money? Like,
yeah.
when
they
people
sure
send
love
you
pocket
gifts.
watching you.
Yeah.
They love pocket watching you, but don't pocket watch their daddy.
This is W Jess in the chat. You know what, Jess?
WMB in the chat, the emoluments clause. I was literally just about to say that. They don't care about the Constitution. The Constitution used to mean something back in the day.
Yeah.
I feel old now because I actually care about the Constitution.
Ain't that something? We actually care about the Constitution. Back in the day, you always assumed the government would do the right thing, but here we are in the middle of fraud, waste, and abuse happening. Donald Trump raking in all the money, and his supporters will turn around and target us. We're the problem. Ain't that the most bizarre situation you've ever seen in your life? It's like a scary movie that just won't end.
So I want to talk about something else too, because I was reading about Pete Hegseth.
Oh.
Something we don't talk often enough about, because we know he's incompetent, DUI hire, but he slept his way to the top.
Oh, stop it,
Did y'all know
Jess.
that?
Stop it, Jess.
I swear. So check it out. His first wife was his high school sweetheart, right? High school sweetheart, had started their family together, all the things. He starts to get a little bit of money, gets into meeting some other people within the vet space, meets the spokesperson for Vets for Freedom, right? She gets him the job as director of Vets for Freedom. They end up firing him because of mishandling funds. Yep. And then fast forward, he meets his third wife.
What?
After having multiple kids with both of the first prior wives, right? So then he meets the producer of Fox and Friends, who is his current wife. And she got him his job on Fox and Friends. And each job he was fired from was for his drinking and misconduct.
Pete Keg's breath.
All of his divorces also were because of him. His second wife, her sister, actually wrote an affidavit saying she hid in her closet from him because he was abusive. The wife came out and said, "Don't worry about me," kind of the same way Ivana did whenever she said, "Don't think about my grape," in a legal sense. Like, just defending them. And it's probably because she has kids with him.
Oh,
But,
my. It's
yeah.
hitting close. What you're saying to me, Jess, and again, I'm not the brightest person, right? I just know how to connect dots very well. So I've heard nasty things said about Vice President Kamala Harris, all right, in terms of how she made it, in her career, which it was just disgusting. But it was similar or likened to the conduct you said Pete Hegseth engaged in.
I feel like Pete Hegseth is worse. And DJ sure likes to be like, "Damn, girl, you all up in someone's business." He's a public figure.
Oh.
And it is public information. And if you guys want to bash Kamala Harris and post stupid, fake, altered photos, I'll be all up in your guys' business. For sure.
You say all up in their business.
Oh, yeah. And DJ's just as bad as Wildman, as the Bears, as all of them. And DJ, the other DJ, ought to be ashamed of himself. Oh, you seem a little bit obsessed, sweetie. Don't call me sweetie, you old decrepit man.
DJ,
You
you
are
know better.
60 years old, DJ. I am 32 years old. Do not call me your sweetie. The only one who gets to do that is my father or my man.
Amen. W. Jess. Again, y'all gotta this stuff y'all dealing with, MAGA in the cult. Y'all gotta knock this stuff off. It's toxic behavior at the highest of high levels.
And like everyone has said, DJ is fake nice. The one in the chat right now, fake nice. He's only nice at surface level. And honestly, Mike, something you want to talk about headboard Harris, brother?
Oh.
Listen,
Get him.
Donald Trump got spanked by Stormy Daniels and said, "You remind me of Ivanka." Your daddy got spanked with a magazine and said, "Harder, please."
Ooh.
So I don't want you miss me with all of that. You want to talk crap about our side. Wild Man was like, "It's a win for me. You need to clean up your side of the street before you." They voted for that. They voted for that. They set the standard. You guys set the standard, and you want to talk about hypocrisy. You want to talk about holding people accountable.
Wow.
You're literally saying slurs, a slur dog. Slur dog. And you're crying as you're saying it. Get out of here.
W. Jess in the chat.
That's why I don't feel bad for Wildman. I don't feel bad for his son. I don't feel bad for Janae. You guys brought it on yourselves. And Zeus and Ange handled themselves amazing. And you know what's so funny?
Go ahead.
They kept kicking me out of the queue.
Oh.
They kept bringing me up just to drop me down. And Maverick, you're a slovenly beast of a woman. You are slovenly and piggish.
They gotta do. Prayer is needed at this point, MAGA, but y'all gotta truly repent and get out of this cult. W. Jess.
We want to talk about, and I'll leave it.
You got it.
You want to talk about immaturity or this, that, and the third, and Maverick's up there screaming like a banshee, cutting people off, saying demons this and demons that, talking about your show, but it's just a show.
Yeah.
It's Greek mythology. Matter of fact, maybe I'll go change my name to Melpomene, which is the Greek muse of tragedy. How about that?
That might be a crime over there, Jess. You might want to cool off. You know, you don't want to go to, be, locked up by the FBI. Could you imagine them coming for you for changing your name to a Greek god?
I know. It's a shame. All right, but you have a wonderful day. MAGA, hold your daddy accountable for that 1.5 million plate of food that probably tastes like crap. But
Tell him.
bye,
Tell him, Jess.
guys.
W's in the chat for Jess. No lies detected. I mean, we are really determined to get this right in this country. And to be honest, there were people on both sides of the aisle, that were very upset about the way that Big Zeus and his friends were treated on that platform, blocking us, calling us names. Even Republicans that I saw that witnessed the way you all acted, it was just disturbing and disgusting. And so this is why MAGA, y'all got to do better. You can't bring up any issue with us without first recognizing your dear leader, this knucklehead behind me. He's doing it and a lot more. Seriously. I mean, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a quick example, then we'll go back to the box. Let's go. Remember Lawrence O'Donnell last week called him Donnie Two Dolls because he's taking away the dolls from the little girls during Christmas with these tariffs? Just listen to how careless he is about protecting his, the young women out here that are coming up, that love getting presents for Christmas, especially the dolls. Listen to how heartless he sounds, all right?
Tariffs are going to make us rich. We're going to be a very rich country.
So let's talk about the tariffs. And I want to ask you about something you said this week. Got a lot of attention. You were at your cabinet meeting. You said, quote, I'm going to quote what you said, maybe the children will have 2 dolls instead of 30 dolls.
Yeah.
And maybe the 2 dolls will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. Are you saying that your tariffs will cause some prices to go up?
No, I think the tariffs are going to be great for us because it's going to make us rich.
But you said some dolls are going to cost more. Isn't that an
I don't
acknowledgement
think
that some
children- I
prices
don't
will
think
go
that-
up?
I don't think a beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have 30 dolls. I think they can have 3 dolls or 4 dolls because what we were doing with China was just unbelievable. We had a trade deficit of hundreds of billions of dollars with China.
When you say they could have 3 dolls instead of 30 dolls, are you saying
saying they don't need
Americans
30.
could see empty store shelves?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they don't need to have 30 dolls. They can have 3. They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
Wow. This is what we're talking about, MAGA. I want you to jump ahead towards the holiday season. And you're going to have to, I'm talking to the so-called fathers out there, the mothers who support Donald Trump. You're going to have to tell your child, unfortunately, this year, you're not getting any gifts. Because some people don't even have a lot of money around that time to buy things. But one thing everyone knows is these tariffs, they're going to make everything a lot more expensive and there's going to be shortages. So your child wakes up and you're trying to put the Christmas, do the Christmas Eve thing. You got the Mariah Carey singing Christmas music. And you're trying to get into the spirit. But you go to the stores, the shelves are empty. You can only buy one doll, maybe 2 dolls. There's no eggs. So what are you going to give your child for Christmas? Nothing, or barely anything compared to what you were able to do under President Biden, right? Even though you had a problem with him. But this time, you're not going to be able to give your kids anything. And just imagine the look in your kid's face, because they're going to think they did something wrong when they don't get all the presents they thought they were going to get. They gave you a Christmas list. They left milk and cookies out there. And you're going to have to look your child in the eyes and say, the truth is, you should say, I did this to you, but you're going to lie to them. You're going to lie to your child about why they're in this situation, why you're in this situation, because guess what? You might not even be able to do anything because you're going to lose your job. Yeah, because of the tariffs, right? A lot of the companies are starting to say we're not handing out Christmas bonuses because we don't know what he's going to do. Or they're just flat out saying we're going to go ahead and lay you off. So now you're unemployed, no Christmas bonus, barely any presents. Your wife doesn't want to, be romantic with you anymore because she's worried about where she's going to get the next dozen of eggs or so, right? And your child's crying because there's no presents under the tree. And this is all brought on because you decided that you were going to continue to support the most evil and corrupt president the United States of America has ever had. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I got to warm up the lake of fire. Because listen, MAGA, I've said it before and I've said it again. You will be judged. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus in the chat. I can always go back and play something else he said, MAGA. Just since you don't want to come up, I can just do it like this. We'll just let Zeus do what he does, do the little rope-a-dope on you and then do judgment. Don't worry. We're cooking and booking this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Shay. Hi,
Hey,
how are you doing?
morning.
Yes, how are you doing?
I am good. I was in
Okay.
the middle of a Italian wine dinner.
Okay.
And my phone started blowing up Sunday night.
Oh,
Was that
okay.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, "Are you watching this Cry Fest?"
Mm.
I got another one like, "They're calling for you, Shay." I'm like, "What?"
You take care of yourself the whole time, and that's actually the right thing to do, honestly. W. Shay, because that's what it's really important in my opinion to really take care of yourselves. You know what I mean?
Really?
These conversations, they're very difficult to have. I get it. We're all passionate, but You know, we should have the ability to say, you know what, I just don't want to be looked upon that way, and I'm not going to engage at that level. But sorry to cut you off. What do you got for
No,
us?
you're good. And then I was at brunch with friends, doing my life, and then I got a blow up that they're all hanging out in Angie's live and things are going down. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. So they've surfaced, stuck their little heads out, and they're like, I'm going to be all big and bad and come over here. So I made a video to Wildman. So if he's listening, because I got blocked, I did scroll in. I just used myself to the bathroom.
Oh.
Just to scroll into Wildman's live to see what's going on, since I heard they were calling for me. So, they're trying to drop people and bring me up. I'm declining the invitation. I'm just letting them know. I said what I need to say. I made a video to you.
Yeah, I saw your video. It was very, to me, it showed you cared, because most people, if they don't care, they don't even respond. So, and I think I took from that video you made, it was, to me, it was once again a reminder, like, hey, you got to be mentally healthy in order to talk politics on TikTok. That's what I took from your
100%.
video. And if you're not, it doesn't mean you're a weak person. It just means this isn't for you. Just like, not everybody should be eating soul food every day. I get it.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, is this feigning victimhood like Janae does. And, this whole thing with using his son as a victim now. Like, be real clear. I have been drugged on this app. Heck, Wakanda and I drugged for like a year on this app. So, like, people, they've called me names. Like I said, Wildman used a slur. So did Tom, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom used a slur to Q Dog. But we're not supposed to use slurs or make fun of people. Like, make that make sense. And if you're going to have your special needs son on here discussing politics, he's going to get drugged like the rest of us. For you to feign his neurodivergent issues, okay, whatever it is, it's nobody's business, as a victim card that he is untouchable, but yet you put him in a space where people will eat you alive.
Don't do it.
Miss me with that.
Good. That's what I was trying to help him.
I did not make fun of his son. I've never made fun of his son. Ange and I are both educators. We both have special needs sons ourselves. Q Dog's daughter is special needs as well. He has shared that. Sorry, Q Dog, I wasn't supposed to say any of that. They're all beautiful children. They're all high functioning. They're all doing well.
Correct.
But there is no way in heck we would have our children on social media.
Nope.
Because of their neurodivergency, they're not going to handle things like, maybe in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And they're going to come across, black or white. And so there's not a lot of ways to handle that. And I need you to understand that that's it. So stop using your son as a victim card.
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
And that's what I was saying. I really felt like I was the bigger. Actually, I felt like I was more of a parent figure. Now that I think about it, with the way you said that, I probably showed Wildman how to be a father that day. Yeah. So I hope you've learned something, Wildman. Thank you, W. Shay in the chat. That's actually pretty neat, Shay. I'm the daddy.
Well, exactly. And listen, I know he's a grown man. He's not a child. And that's just something you're going to have to explain. And miss me with all that, because the first live they were in, Maverick's yelling at DJ. Wildman argues with his son constantly. DJ, stop this. Stop dropping people. Always admonishing him, but yet we're the bad people? Y'all are on for the social media with billions of people, or whatever. It's got 100 million, 200 million, something like that followers.
Marissa. Yes, W Marissa. Well, Shay, we're better. We actually have more common sense. My grandmother always said something, whoever has the most sense, use it. And when I go into those spaces, and you do it too, I think that's just the right thing to do, right? We should use our common sense, and whoever has the most, the burden does fall on you at this point. And so Wildman, listen to what Shay is saying.
Yeah.
Because honestly, she's saying it out of concern.
Yes, I am. And that's just my advice. But that's the thing, is you can't sit there and play victim and do all that kind of stuff. And I heard what Janae was doing. I'm glad Wakanda laid into her over her stuff about Michelle Obama. Enough is enough. You guys can't sit here running around saying, I'm not a racist, when the only first lady you talk about as being a man is the black first lady. You don't condemn any other first lady. Then you
They're
run
still
around.
talking that?
Huh? Yeah.
They're still bringing up Michelle Obama and talking about her?
I will. Yes, they have been. You know, there's a whole clip out of her talking to Marlon Wayans, you know, and all that. And they keep cutting it short and making fun of it and all that. Now, I'll give it to Janae at the end. Yesterday, I listened to her and she was cutting people off because they were trying to do it again. She don't do that. I got eaten alive in that lab. So don't do that. But that's the only reason she did it. Not because it was wrong, not because it was racist, but because her butt got in trouble.
She's too old to not know this. You know, you're supposed to look up to your elders, and it's concerning that we still have people who are older than us, Shay, that are having to be taught this. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
And she uses the excuse like, well, they talk about Melania Trump really bad because of her past and doing nudie pictures and stuff. But, you know, she's just so classy. I mean, they make fun of Melania Trump. I'm like, listen, that's the thing with politics, right? Bringing up the fact that she did nudie pictures is one thing. You talking about Michelle Obama and saying she's a man and masculizing black women is racist. End of story. So if you want to talk about her politics or you don't like her stance on certain things, that's fair game.
Yeah.
But it's the only black first lady that you are talking about like that.
Amen.
Because of some stupid quip from a comedian.
Let it go, MAGA. Stop pretending with Big Zeus. Stop pretending with me and acting like it ain't what it
All
is.
of us. We know what it is. And let that blackface cricket guy that they follow and gets up there and makes horrific racist jokes on their panel and they're all laughing.
Yeah, we see
Trying
it.
to do that. Let's be real clear. Y'all can do what you want. Nobody's saying you can't say this. Nobody's saying you can't do this. Nobody, do your thing.
But choices have invoices.
Choices have consequences.
Thank you, W. Shay. Because if people, I do not tell anybody how to react or talk to anyone on this app. I don't. I do my show and then I get out of here and I go and do all this other stuff in the real world. And so when this stuff does percolate to the top, it's very clear what's going on. Like you said, Shay, choices have consequences. So if you're a nasty person on this app, people are going to find that out and come to their own decision about you. And that's just how it goes. It has nothing to do with my platform. Nothing.
You're going to drop the N-word twice. You're going to admit to it. Okay.
Yeah.
People are going to make their own decision. You are in control of your own mouth.
And
Stop
you will be
playing
judged.
victimhood.
Tell them, Shay. They will be judged, though. I have no problem judging them in here. Do you?
No, not at all. And that's the thing, guys. Please, I'll end with this. This silliness of y'all like, you're telling people they're going to hell, you're doing this, you're doing that. Guys, it's a show. It's a show.
Shay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is real. Some of these
Sorry,
people.
really
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Shay.
I won't give away your magic, man. I got it.
It's already out there. It's fine. But you know what? They'll still believe they're in hell, to be honest with you. Some people, they get on TikTok. I'm in hell because of you, Zeus. And you know, you have to say, you're not. You just went to McDonald's and ordered a Diet Coke. You're not in hell. They don't have Diet Cokes in hell.
Yo, don't poor Trump. He's going to have to find that out. He loves his little Diet Cokes.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Anyway,
All right,
I love you, man. It's all
love you
good.
too.
But anyway, you guys, keep it up. But stop feigning victimhood, guys. Nobody's believing it.
All right.
Consider yourselves. Y'all call us snowflakes. Y'all are the biggest snowflakes on the planet. I love you.
Facts. No lies detected. It's so easy. It's so easy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a W in the chat for Shay. I still see that there are some folks in my audience, the MAGA folks, they are getting triggered by the way Big Zeus is running this special broadcast. And I see DJ Just Hurt Your Feelings. I don't care. DJ, if it's bothering you so much, do us a huge favor.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, all right, all right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I got to wrap it up. All right, we had a great show this morning. Oh my gosh, I got to get up out of here. I don't know how we pulled it off, all right, but we pulled off something very unique and very, very incredible, all right? I want to give all of you in the audience a huge, huge, huge round of applause. It's a resounding round of applause. Without you, this show wouldn't be as entertaining. It was a lot more entertaining today than it was educational and engaging, all right? I didn't have any. Did I have any Trump supporters up here today? I don't think I had any Trump supporters. I think they've learned their lessons, all right? I also want to say, it's a very important thing right now, ladies and gentlemen, to understand. If you are not mentally and mature enough to handle these difficult discussions that involve a lot of things that intersect politics, religion, race, and as Shay pointed out, you don't want to be dealing with some of the heat that goes along with, getting on the internet and being a content creator, but at the same time also not being a perfect person, right? Because none of us are perfect, right? If you do not want to deal with any of that, I strongly recommend you just get off the app, all right? Just get off of the app, because your soul is worth more than the likes and the views. If you're not stable before you got on the app, this app, and not just this app, but any internet, is going to reveal. Not just this app, but any internet, is going to reveal. Just wanted to get that out there, all right? And that's kind of why I do what I do and get up out of here, all right? I don't really got time, but when I do get in there, don't make no mistake. When I do get active, I get active. When I get active, I get active. I mean, I got so many things going on in my head, and I can hit you with this and hit you with that. And it's a lot going on, and you just can't keep up. And you're going to wonder, did I win or did I lose? And then you're going to go, I think I won. No, you lost. When you're confused about whether you won or lost, that means you lost a big Zeus. I also got to give one last round of booze and shame. And you know exactly who these booze and shame goes out to. All right, it goes out to all of you Zeus haters out there. You will be judged. Whether it's here, there, over there, it doesn't matter. And the lake of fire will always be there for you, all right? Trust me, you will be judged. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's send these Zeus haters, these people who worship Donald J. Trump, smell his dirty, disgusting diaper, and pretend to be angry and upset with us, but really they're angry and upset with their dear leader for lying to them and taking advantage of them and actually making them be a part of this abusive relationship that they know is ultimately going to result in them being, having to enter the afterlife peacefully after they sip on that orange Kool-Aid. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send them to hell one last time.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there you have it. All right. On that note, we are out of here. Please take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We are out of here.
Kamala Harris's war, Pennsylvania Energy, because she's gonna ban fracking, right? 100%.
What a great show. You all deserve it. I'm out of here.
Yeah, she's against fracking, against all the stuff, and then all of a sudden, about a year and a half
do some
ago,
drill,
she
baby,
was getting
drill?
killed in the polls. She said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical left Marxist. She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep.
We're gonna be, for these guys, we're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes to insane asylums. They go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack, frack. Drill. There's a black frack, frack. There's a baby, there's a lesson in your name.
Hey.
She's gonna pay. She's gonna pay.
Have a great morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Yeah, it killed in the pack. She said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical. Hey. And Drill, baby, drill. You gotta be able to drill like that. Seriously. So deep. Let's go. You want me to lower your taxes? We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say we're gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Am I right, Reggie? Hey. Let's go. Here it goes.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say
W-Ange.
Hannibal Lecter.
Right.
They say,
Why would he mention Hannibal Lecter? What are we gonna do?
We're gonna lower your taxes.
Oh,
Deep insane
that
asylums.
part.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal. Drill, 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 baby, drill.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we came to do. Cooking and booking. Hey, you know they go crazy. Let's go. Hey, let's go, let's go. Hit them with it. I'ma lower your bills. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say. How much do you owe in your taxes right now? W Calian. Thank you so much. We're gonna lower those taxes like you wouldn't believe. Alright? And then we're gonna pay off all of your debt. Alright, because we're gonna drill, baby, drill. And we're gonna get access to all that liquid gold that's underneath our feet. Alright, and then after that we're gonna frack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. But listen, thank you all. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets.